Welcome to the deep dive. This is your essential sync up, really, for cutting through all the noise in the cloud PC world. It's the first week of September 2025, and, well, think of us as your dedicated Windows 365 Enterprise Intel team for today. We're diving deep into the August 2025 What's New document for Windows 365 Enterprise. We've also got some Microsoft Learn articles, some internal briefings. Our mission, to really distill the critical updates, talk about what they mean, and maybe help you figure out any actions needed for your cloud PC setup. This isn't just, reading release notes. It's about understanding what truly matters for how you operate. Okay, let's unpack this.
Absolutely. And staying ahead is, well, it's more critical than ever, isn't it? Especially with how fast cloud PCs are evolving. These aren't just minor tweaks we're seeing. They're strategic improvements. They hit security, the actual user experience day to day, how things are managed. What's really interesting, I think, is how these changes are designed to sort of future-proof these deployments, tackling current issues, but also looking ahead.
Right. So let's kick things off with security. Always top of mind for everyone, yeah. We've got a pretty significant new feature rolling out. It's designed to tackle, well, one of the trickiest attacks out there, token theft. It's called Token Protection in Microsoft Entra Conditional Access, and the big news is it's now generally available in the Windows app.
Yeah, this is genuinely a big step forward. Token protection gets right at the heart of token replay attacks. So when you sign in on a Windows 10 or a newer device, you get a primary refresh token, a PRT. But here's the clever bit, that PRT is cryptographically bound to that specific device. What that means, practically speaking, is even if someone, a threat actor, manages to steal that token, it's basically useless if they try to use it from anywhere else. Because of that binding, Microsoft Entra checks constantly that only these device-bound tokens are getting used by the apps it supports. It makes replaying stolen credentials incredibly hard. It's more than just a technical detail, It fundamentally changes the game for stopping that kind of attack.
That's a really neat approach. Like giving the token its own digital fingerprint tied to the machine sounds super secure. How far does this protection go? Are we talking all the Microsoft 365 apps? And what do you need license-wise to get this running?
Exactly. It ensures only those device-bound tokens get accepted. Requirements-wise, you'll need Microsoft Entra RDP 1 licenses. And the protection, it covers a pretty wide range of the crucial stuff. Your Microsoft 365 native apps, resources like Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Team Services, also Azure Virtual Desktop, and yes, Windows 365 itself. It's really designed to give you this comprehensive protection across the core Microsoft ecosystem.
Okay, that sounds great. But I think I saw something, there's a specific catch or maybe a nuance for Windows 365 cloud PCs, is that right?
Yes, indeed. And this is a really critical point for anyone managing cloud PCs. While token protection is broadly supported, across many services and device types, there is a significant limitation right now for Windows 365 Enterprise. Specifically, cloud PCs that are Microsoft Entra joined. They are currently unsupported by this token protection feature. It's not just a footnote. It kind of highlights the ongoing architectural differences between hybrid setups and pure cloud-native ones. It's a good reminder that security really needs to be layered and context-aware, especially as these platforms keep changing.
Okay, so for our listeners managing those cloud PCs, what's the practical takeaway? I mean, it's a huge win for overall security, definitely. But this is a very specific thing to watch out for with those Microsoft Entra joined cloud PCs.
Absolutely. The immediate advice for IT teams: go review your current Microsoft Entra Conditional Access policies. Given this specific limitation, if you're managing Microsoft Entra joined cloud PCs, you'll need to, explore alternatives or rely on existing security measures, compensating controls, basically, until this support gap gets closed. That might mean really leaning into strong MFA, robust device health checks, other conditional access policies, maybe, just to make sure you have that consistent security posture across all your cloud PC types.
Right, makes sense. And speaking of proactive defense, moving beyond just tokens, Windows 365 is also tightening up defaults for RDP device redirections. What's changing there?
That's right. So Windows 365 is boosting security by default. They're proactively disabling certain RDP device redirections. This applies to all newly provisioned and reprovisioned cloud PCs. And it lines up directly with Microsoft's Secure Future Initiative, SFI. The goal there is having security protections on and enforced by default, right out of the box. Minimizes configuration hassle, reduces risk. The specific ones disabled now are clipboard, drive redirection, opaque low-level USB, and printers. It's a smart way to cut down risks like, accidental data leaks or malware coming in.
That sounds like a really sensible, proactive move, baking security in from the start. But what about places where maybe there's a genuine business need for one of those redirections? How can you manage them then?
Yeah, flexibility is still there. That's key. Admins who do need to enable these can configure them. You can use a device configuration policy in Microsoft Intune
Hmm.
through the settings catalog. And that method supports both Microsoft Entra joined and hybrid joined cloud PCs. So that covers most scenarios.
Yeah.
Alternatively, just for the Microsoft Entra hybrid joined cloud PCs, you can still use group policy objects, GPOs, in your on-prem Windows Server AD. So it gives you that granular control you might need. You can balance the tighter security with specific user needs, maybe for certain departments or roles where, yeah, they absolutely need that clipboard access or whatever it is.
Okay, good to know there's control there. Now, moving beyond security. We all know network reliability is huge for cloud PCs. It can make or break the experience, right? So this next update sounds like a big one for smoothing things out. RDP Multipath is now generally available.
Oh, RDP Multipath, yes. It really is a game changer for connection reliability. And performance, too. Especially if you've got users dealing with, let's say, unpredictable network conditions, home Wi-Fi, mobile hotspots, that kind of thing. How it works is it intelligently manages multiple network paths to the cloud PC, ensures a much smoother experience. It actually extends RDP short path, and it uses something called Interactive Connectivity Establishment ICE to dynamically find and pick the most reliable path in real time. Think of it less like a single highway and more like a smart traffic controller for your cloud PC data, always finding the best route.
Constantly optimizing that connection, like a Waze for your data packets. So what are the key benefits? What can you expect to see from this?
The benefits are pretty substantial, yeah.
Yeah.
First off, seamless integration. Basically, no extra configuration needed if you already have RDP short path working. Second, that intelligent path management we mentioned. ICE is always looking, evaluating multiple routes, picking the best one. And third, enhanced reliability. Backup paths are always on standby. If the main path gets flaky or drops, RDP Multipath just switches automatically to the next best one. That means fewer frustrating session drops, fewer interruptions. We saw this rolling out in phases, and it hit GA, general availability, the week of August 4th.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially, like you said, for people maybe working from home or on the move with less stable networks. What are the requirements? What do organizations need to do to take advantage of this?
Okay, so to use RDP Multipath, your environment first needs RDP short path for public networks enabled. That's the foundation. Then, there are specific minimum client versions you need. For the MSRDC client, it's 1.2.6353 or later. For the Windows app, it's 2.0.559.0 or later. There is one important limitation to keep in mind, though. This version of Multipath, it doesn't support users who connect only through WebSocket, which is TCP-based. So think users connecting via web browsers. They typically use WebSocket. They won't get the benefit of RDP Multipath just yet. So if a lot of your users access cloud PCs through a browser, their connection stability won't see this specific boost. It might mean focusing other network optimization efforts there for now.
Got it. So for IT teams wanting better connection stability, the action items are check RDP short path settings, make sure they're enabled for public networks, and get those client versions updated. Okay, so connection stability is looking better, but what if things go really wrong? Like an admin needs to recover a whole cloud PC. That brings us to some powerful new management and recovery tools. First up, point-in-time restore for Windows 365 Enterprise.
Right? This feature gives you incredible flexibility when it comes to recovery. It lets an admin restore a cloud PC to its exact state, how it was at an earlier point in time. IT teams get 3 ways to set and use these restore points. First, you've got short-term restore points. You can configure these for every 4, 6, 12, 16, or 24 hours. It saves 10 of those points. Second, there are long-term restore points. These aren't configurable. They're saved automatically every 7 days. 4 of those are kept. And third, on-demand manual restore points. An admin can create one whenever needed for just one cloud PC or maybe a whole group. Super useful for, say, taking a snapshot right before you do some big management task or maybe when an employee is leaving.
That sounds like an absolute lifesaver for admins, a much-needed safety net, really. But
Yeah.
while it's obviously powerful, any kind of full system restore always has things to consider, doesn't it? What are the risks? What should you be aware of before hitting that restore button?
Yeah, like any full disk restore, there are definitely risks to think about carefully. The big one is obvious. Any changes made between the time of the restore point you pick and the current time, they're gone, irrevocably lost. But maybe more subtly, think about applications, agents, tools, things that use rolling passwords, secrets, certificates, keys. If those got updated after the restore point was taken, the restorer could break them. So the best practice is pretty clear. Always try to choose a restore point that's as close as possible to the current time. Minimizes data loss, reduces the chance of those credential conflicts. It's powerful, yes, but needs to be used thoughtfully.
That makes sense. And connecting this restore capability to a real-world headache. I saw there's also a new preview feature for recovering cloud PCs that got deprovisioned because a license expired. That's hit quite a few orgs, I bet.
Exactly. Yeah, this new preview feature has been available since about the week of August 4th, too. It lets admins recover Windows 365 Enterprise Cloud PCs that were deprovisioned specifically because the license ran out. So you repurchase the licenses you need, make sure you meet the prerequisites, and then you can use a retention snapshot, leveraging that point-in-time restore tech we just talked about to bring the cloud PC back for the user. This is a massive safety net for, license management hiccups. Could save a huge amount of time and effort trying to rebuild a user setup from scratch.
Wow, that really is a huge safety net. Could save so many headaches in a busy IT department. Okay, finally, let's touch on a quality of life improvement, something to simplify onboarding for global teams. Display language settings.
Ah, yes, this is a nice one. A good quality of life improvement that actually streamlines things quite a bit. Organizations can now use a provisioning policy to set a default display language on the cloud PCs. This makes sure the right language packs are there right from the very first sign-in. Makes that initial experience much smoother for users, especially if you have a diverse workforce. There are over 30 Windows language packs available, and Windows 365 will automatically use the default remote keyboard layout for whatever language you choose. Might seem like a small detail, but for global organizations, it cuts out a big post-provisioning step and improves that crucial first impression for new folks.
So what this means day to day. Less fiddling after provisioning, a more consistent setup across the board, and just a better out-of-the-box experience for your global teams. Saves time, fewer support calls probably. Okay, wow. We've covered a lot today in our Windows 365 sync up. Let's recap quickly. Enhance security with token protection, keeping that limitation for Entra joined PCs in mind, and the new default RDP redirection blocks. Boosting reliability with RDP Multipath, improving admin control with point-in-time restore, that new preview for license expiration recovery, and the simplified language settings and provisioning policies.
Yeah, and if we just step back and look at the bigger picture for a second, these August updates really underline Microsoft's ongoing commitment. They're making Windows 365 Enterprise more secure, definitely more resilient, and ultimately more manageable. For you folks in IT administration, these are real actionable insights. They directly impact how efficiently you can operate, reduce risks, and hopefully make your users happier. It highlights a clear evolution, I think, towards an even more robust, more capable cloud PC platform.
Definitely. So before we wrap up, here's a final thought for you to maybe chew on.
Given how fast these updates are coming, and considering the kind of nuanced limitations we talked about today, like that token protection gap for Microsoft Entra joined cloud PCs, how do you, as IT leaders and admins, make sure you're really leveraging these new features effectively, getting the security and performance benefits while also maintaining full compatibility and avoiding, unforeseen gaps in your specific cloud PC environment? It's kind of a continuous balancing act, isn't it? Adopting the new stuff while making sure everything still works smoothly.
That's a great question to keep in mind as you start integrating these new features into your own environment. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the latest Windows 365 Enterprise updates. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time.